My dear brothers and sisters, you who are watching this video, you who may feel lost, weary, or burdened by the weight of the world, pause for a moment. You are not here by chance. This message, this moment, has found you because your heart is searching, because your soul is yearning for something greater, something eternal. You are not alone in your struggles, for the hand of God reaches out to you, even now, calling you by name. Will you listen? Will you open your heart to the divine whisper that says, "You are chosen, you are loved, you are enough"? This is not just a video. It is an invitation to rediscover the sacred purpose woven into the fabric of your life. Let us walk this journey together, hand in hand, as we uncover the truth that has been with you all along. You are chosen by God. In the book of Jeremiah, we are reminded of a profound truth. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. These words are not merely ancient poetry. They are a living promise, a divine declaration that each of us is known, cherished, and called by God. My dear friends, consider this for a moment. The Creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who hung the stars in the sky, has known you from the beginning of time. You are not an accident, nor are you a fleeting thought in the mind of God. You are a masterpiece, crafted with intention, imbued with purpose. Yet how often do we forget this? How often do we allow the noise of the world, the doubts, the fears, the failures, to drown out this sacred truth? Today, I invite you to silence that noise and listen to the voice that calls you beloved. You are chosen, not because of your perfection, but because of God's infinite love. Let me share with you a story from the Gospel of Matthew, one that speaks to the heart of every person who has ever felt unworthy. When Jesus walked among us, he did not seek out the powerful or the prestigious. He called fishermen, tax collectors, sinners, ordinary people like you and me. Consider Matthew himself, a tax collector, despised by his own people, burdened by the weight of his choices. Yet, Jesus looked at him and said, "Follow me," Matthew 9 verse 9. In that moment, Matthew was not chosen because of his wealth or his righteousness. He was chosen because Jesus saw in him a heart capable of transformation, a soul yearning for redemption. My dear friends, this is the beauty of God's call. It does not depend on our merits but on His mercy. Wherever you are in your life, whether you feel broken, lost, or far from grace, know this: God is looking at you right now saying, "Follow me." Will you take that step? The world today is filled with voices that tell us we are not enough. Social media, with its endless comparisons, whispers that we must be richer, more successful, more perfect. But the gospel offers a different message. In the parable of the lost sheep, Jesus teaches us that the shepherd leaves the 99 to search for the one who is lost. Luke 15 verses 4 to 7. That one is you. That one is me. God does not wait for us to become perfect before He seeks us out. He comes to us in our brokenness, in our doubts, in our moments of despair. I think of the many people I have met over the years, men and women who believed they were too far gone, too wounded to be loved. Yet, when they opened their hearts, even just a little, they found that God was already there, waiting with open arms. My dear friends, you do not need to earn God's love. It is already yours. You are chosen not because of what you have done, but because of who you are, a child of God. As we reflect on this truth, let us consider what it means to be chosen. It is not a call to pride or privilege, but to responsibility. In the book of Isaiah, we hear, "You are my servant. I have chosen you and not cast you off." Isaiah 41 verse 9. To be chosen is to be called to serve, to love, to bring light to a world that so often dwells in darkness. Think of Mary, the mother of Jesus, a young woman from a humble village. When the angel Gabriel appeared to her, she could have said no. She could have let fear or doubt overwhelm her. But instead, she said, "Let it be done to me according to your word." Luke 1 verse 38. Her yes changed the course of history. My dear friends, God is calling you to say yes, not to a life of ease, but to a life of purpose. What is the yes that God is asking of you today? Perhaps it is to forgive someone who has hurt you, to reach out to someone in need, or to trust that God is working in your life, even when you cannot see the way forward. My dear brothers and sisters, let us now turn our hearts to the journey of faith, a path that is not always easy, but is always illuminated by God's grace. To be chosen by God is to be invited into a relationship, a sacred covenant that calls us to trust, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. In the book of Psalms, we find these comforting words: "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." Psalm 23 verses 1 to 3. These words remind us that being chosen does not mean a life free of trials, but a life accompanied by the one who never abandons us. I think of the story of Abraham, called by God to leave his homeland and journey to an unknown land. Genesis 12 verses 1 to 4. Abraham did not know where he was going, yet he trusted. My friends, how often do we hesitate to step forward because we cannot see the entire path? God does not ask us to have all the answers. He asks us to take one step at a time, trusting that He is leading us to still waters, even through the valleys of life. This journey of being chosen also calls us to embrace our own weaknesses. St. Paul, in his second letter to the Corinthians, shares a profound insight. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. Paul himself struggled with what he called a thorn in the flesh, a burden he begged God to remove. Yet, God's response was not to take away the struggle, but to offer grace that transforms it. My dear friends, what is the thorn in your life? Perhaps it is a fear that holds you back, a wound that has not healed, or a doubt that lingers in your heart. Do not be ashamed of your weaknesses, for they are the very places where God's grace can shine most brightly. I have met so many souls who, in their moments of greatest vulnerability, discovered the strength of God's love. One woman, a mother who had lost her child, told me she found hope by offering her pain to God, trusting that He was holding her close. You too are invited to offer your struggles to God, knowing that His power is at work within you. As we walk this path, we are also called to be witnesses of God's love to others. To be chosen is not to stand apart, but to stand alongside our brothers and sisters, sharing the light we have received. In the Gospel of John, Jesus tells us, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Matthew 5 verse 14. My dear friends, you are that light. Your kindness, your compassion, your willingness to listen. These are the ways you reflect God's love in a world that so desperately needs it. I recall a young man I met in a small parish who, despite his own struggles with poverty, spent his evenings serving food to those in need. He told me, "I may not have much, but I have love to give." That, my friends, is what it means to be chosen, to give what you have, no matter how small it seems, and to trust that God will multiply it. Think of the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, John 6 verse 9. His offering was humble, yet in Jesus' hands, it fed thousands. What small act of love can you offer today? It may be the spark that sets another heart ablaze with hope. Let us also remember that being chosen means living in community. We are not called to walk alone, but to journey together as the body of Christ. In the Acts of the Apostles, we see the early Christians living in unity, sharing all they had, and breaking bread together, Acts 2 verses 44 to 46. This is the vision God has for us. A world where no one is left behind, where every person is seen, valued, and loved. My dear friends, look around you. Who is the person in your life who needs your presence? Perhaps it is a neighbor who is lonely, a friend who is struggling, or a stranger who simply needs a smile. In my years as a shepherd of souls, I have learned that the greatest gift we can offer is our time, our attention, our love. When we reach out to others, we are not only fulfilling God's call, but also discovering the joy of being part of His family. Let us build bridges, not walls, and let us create communities where every person knows they are chosen by God. My dear brothers and sisters, as we draw near the end of this journey together, let us reflect on the enduring promise of hope that anchors our calling as God's chosen ones. The book of Romans offers us this powerful assurance. We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8 verse 28. These words are a beacon in the storms of life, a reminder that no matter the trials we face, God is weaving a story of redemption through every moment. I think of the story of Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, yet raised by God to save a nation. Genesis 37-50. His life was marked by betrayal, imprisonment, and hardship, yet he trusted that God's purpose was greater than his pain. My friends, what is the trial you face today? Perhaps it feels like a betrayal, a loss, or a dream that seems out of reach. I invite you to hold fast to this truth. God is at work in your life, turning even your deepest struggles into a testimony of his love. You are chosen to carry this hope, not only for yourself but for others who need to see it. This hope is not a passive waiting but an active trust, a courage to live each day with faith. In the Gospel of John, Jesus tells us, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." John 10 verse 10. To be chosen by God is to be called to a life of abundance, not necessarily in material wealth, but in love, joy, and peace. I recall a moment from my years of service, meeting a man who had lost everything in a flood: his home, his possessions, his livelihood. Yet, as we spoke, he shared with me a smile and said, "I still have my faith, and that is enough." His words stayed with me, a testament to the resilience of a heart rooted in God's promise. My dear friends, what does it mean for you to live life to the full? It may be as simple as forgiving yourself for past mistakes, embracing the present moment, or trusting that God is leading you toward a future filled with hope. As God's chosen, you are called to live boldly, to love fiercely, and to trust deeply. And now, let us bring this journey to a close with a call to action, a call to live out your sacred purpose. In the first letter of Peter, we are told, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." 1 Peter 2 verse 9. My dear brothers and sisters, you are not merely spectators in the story of salvation. You are participants, co-creators with God in bringing his kingdom to earth. This is not a distant dream, but a reality you can begin today. Start where you are. Offer a kind word to someone who is hurting. Share your story of faith with a friend. Pray for those who feel forgotten. Each small act is a step toward the light, a declaration of the God who chose you. I think of the countless souls I have met, teachers, parents, workers, students, who, in their ordinary lives, have done extraordinary things through love. You, too, are called to this greatness, not by the world's standards, but by God's measure of love. As we part ways, let me leave you with a final reflection. You who are watching, you who have stayed with me through this message, know this. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. The God who created the universe has chosen you, not because of your strength, but because of his grace. Not because of your past, but because of his promise for your future. In the quiet of your heart, listen for his voice. In the beauty of creation, see his hand. In the love you share with others, feel his presence. My dear friends, this video is not the end but a beginning, a moment to recommit to the journey of being God's chosen. Go forth with courage, with hope, with love, and may the peace of Christ, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and minds now and forever. Amen.